No, you're a big Henri fan.
Yeah, definitely. Henry was my idol. I was definitely an Arsenal fan as a kid.
Yeah.
But I was an Henry fan as a kid, so I was an Arsenal fan. And when he left, it kind of filtered out a little bit. But yeah,
Uh,
definitely Henry
times got hard. You know what I mean?
fan. It got depressing being an Arsenal fan, man. You know, have me emotional, man.
4258 here, back with another episode. This one with one of my nearest and dearest in the game of football. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. This one is an interesting one because we've known each other for a while now, and he's had a illustrious journey and played for a lot of clubs, a lot of organizations, and he's a good friend of mine in football, which is kind of rare to come by nowadays. Sometimes, especially you play the same position. This is how we met. Play for England. We played the same position, but it wasn't like, obviously there's competition. We're playing the same position. We're trying to get one spot in the team, but I never felt like there was any bitterness. But every time you come up against another striker, maybe you're not always like the best of friends, so to speak. So today I got with me Jerome Sinclair, Watford FC striker. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't complain. Surviving, man.
So obviously you're doing quarantine right now, but whereabouts are you in the world?
I'm in Birmingham, which is obviously my hometown. So because of the whole lockdown quarantine situation, I'm obviously been playing in the Netherlands this season.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been able to come home, and I'm just around some of my family. I've obviously got a place. I'm back here, so yeah, back home at the moment.
That's good. That's good, man. So, obviously now is the time where you can, relax, recharge your batteries. What kind of things have you been doing during quarantine? Obviously, you got to stay within the guidelines, but what have you been
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. I mean, it's been very different. I mean, usually when you're in the off season and I'm back home, I can usually go to little things like Power League and play with some of the other players that I know from around the city. But obviously, you're not allowed to gather in larger groups than 3 or 4 at the moment. So we haven't been able to do that. Power League, all those kind of places are closed at the moment. Gyms closed at the moment. So it's just been a lot of home stuff, to be honest. Got some equipment and gym stuff in my garage and stuff. So it's just been home workouts, still runs and things like that, man. Just trying to stay ticking over.
Yeah, obviously for me, I'm a Netflix guy, and it's crazy, For me, like you see your friends or whoever people you may know, and you could see them on TV, and for us it's kind of normal, not normal, but like on TV it's like we play football, innit? That's our job.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Sunderland till I die, and you're in it on Netflix, like I don't know. For me, that's just different audience now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I had a few messages from fans and stuff, like little DMs, people that have just seen it and took a liking to the documentary. Didn't really know me or even know Sunderland, but obviously just seeing it on Netflix, giving it a watch, and then they're reaching to a whole different audience in terms of their fan base, and obviously some people that are in the documentary, players, etc. Obviously becoming known by more people as well. So yeah, it's good in terms of raising your profile, kind of thing. I didn't do too much with the film crew and stuff there, but the little bits, yeah, obviously people recognize, and I got a few messages. Yeah.
Yeah. For you now, you could just say, "I've been on Netflix," innit?
Yeah, you know, Netflix. I haven't even watched all of it, to be honest. I caught like one episode because obviously the season didn't end too well. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to try and watch the rest of it, definitely.
So, other than Sunderland till I die, what are you watching on Netflix right now?
I'm watching on Netflix. Recently, it's been Money Heist. Money Heist came out. I'm a big fan of that. So I think I watched the whole season in about 2 days or something like that, which isn't even good. But obviously, with what's going on right now, bit of downtime, Netflix and that kind of thing, can't really complain.
No, I love Money Heist as well. My only downside about it is it's so unrealistic.
You think? Like, yeah, it is. But it's good though. Like the thrill, like there's always something going on. I don't think you can't guess what's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? You know
Yeah,
when you watch shows and they're predictable. I don't think it's predictable, so it's all right, man.
yeah, yeah. So, other than Netflix, how do you stay ticking over, and what kind of things do you do?
Me, I tend to read a lot, and obviously with football, you'll know usually in England and even around Europe, you'll train in the morning, and your days are usually done by 1, 2 o'clock, and you're at home and you have the rest of the evening to yourself, kind of thing. So I tend to just read a bit of Netflix and try and do other things and take my mind off football. Do you know what I mean? Like investments and little business opportunities, anything that you can take advantage of, that kind of thing.
That's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. So let's talk about from the time I met you, probably around like 14, probably at
Yeah,
14, 15,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
playing for England. At the time, you were at West Brom. So
yeah,
that whole build up in terms of getting to that moment, and I'm guessing at that moment, for all of us, that's a milestone where you kind of starting off your journey, um, and you're kind of reaping the rewards of your hard work.
yeah.
What got you to that, and what kind of influences helped you get to that stage?
Um, for me, I think one of the biggest influence on my career was definitely my dad. My
Mm,
dad was extremely supportive of me from a young age. I think I signed for West Brom as a kid. I was 8 years old. I think nearly 9 years old, and from then, my dad obviously started to take a lot more interest in my football because I used to just play Sunday league and it was more just a fun kind of thing. But I think when my dad came and really started watching me, he obviously would take me to all my games and all my training sessions, and he saw the potential and he just made sure that he pushed me and supported me in any way that he could really. So I'd say my dad was definitely the biggest influencer on my career as a young kid.
yeah, no, I heard. Obviously, knowing you know a lot, I've heard a lot about your dad. What kind of things that do you think he was doing? Maybe it might be different to other parents, but what he was doing so special to you?
I mean, coming from the kind of background that I come from, like inner city background, and obviously within a black family, whatever, sometimes parents don't have the time to be able to support their children like that. My dad made it a priority to kind of make sure that I was always able to get to training on time. I was always picked up and I was looked after, and I always had somebody to speak to, somebody to ask for advice, and just being very present. Because I mean, I had friends from similar families that had to catch buses to training and travel across the city, and my dad would sometimes offer to give them lifts and pick other players up as well. That's why a lot of some of my friends that will speak highly of my dad, because he tried to support them as well when in times when obviously their families or their parents couldn't. So just definitely being present is a massive factor, but it was more than that as well. Like in the off seasons, making sure that I was always on top of my fitness. I went that extra mile, so I was physically in as good a condition as I could be at that age. And then also watching my game, and even though he wasn't a football fan as a child or growing up, telling me where I could improve, what he wanted to see me do, what I should be striving for, giving me that criticism. It was harsh at times. It was harsh, and I didn't like it at times. Obviously, you wouldn't, but looking back on it, it was definitely what I needed, and it pushed me that extra mile and took my game to a different level. I mean, even to the extent of speaking to my coaches all the time on what I can do. When I was doing really well, getting me access to one-to-one training with coaches, so I was doing more than other players. Do you know what I mean? So it really helped, and it took me to. I'll be honest, it took me to a different level to my peers at the time. Do you know what I mean? It made me stand out, but I was working more than everyone, so it made sense.
That's good, man. That's good to hear. Like, obviously, with the young kids watching, that's kind of the things that you need to do. Sacrifices, winning mentality. Where you said, you got harsh criticism, but you took it on the chin, and you took it in your stride, you know. Would you say that you've always been at youth level from the early ages, from 8 to, let's say, 14? Were you always like that good?
I think when I was young, 8, 9, when I just went into academy football, I had a year or so in Sunday League. I went into academy football. I was good. I was quite big for my age, so I was physically able to dominate a lot of the players I was playing against. And I think when I was about 10, 11, I started playing up age groups regularly. And I think for a year and a half or so, I was just okay. I was good. I would score goals and stuff, but I don't think I was too outstanding. But I think at that point, West Brom started putting a lot more work into me, obviously with the influence of my dad. And from about the age of about 11, 12, it was a big change. I started playing up more age groups, but I started standing out more, even though I was playing up more age groups. So I think at that age, I kind of I took a big step.
That's good to hear, man. So, you know, obviously in your area, you got so many talented players. Like, for me, it's hard to differentiate Birmingham for me, coming from London. So the way I
Yeah,
just see it is Birmingham. But for you, I know, for example, there's probably an area in Birmingham, which is a catchment area for a lot of players. What
yeah.
what area did you come from, and do you think that had an impact in like the player you are today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I obviously started a Sunday league team called Phoenix United, which was like in one of the inner city areas in Birmingham. But at the time, they had an agreement with West Brom, so any players that were outstanding, um, they had to go to West Brom on trial before they could go anywhere else. And obviously, I think West Brom helped with the funding of the club, day-to-day running and things like that, um, and really helped out, obviously financially. Um, but yeah, that club obviously it's provided a lot of players,
Really?
the likes of Saido Berahino, obviously myself, Tavon Campbell, and numerous younger players that are coming through at the moment and are making names for themselves in the game, have come through that club and the West Brom system, and now that club actually has a similar agreement with Aston Villa. So I think a lot of players are coming through there now and going into the Aston Villa academy and trying to make their way in the game. So yeah.
Yeah, for you at that age, was it just I don't care who I end up playing for, or was it like you had your eyes set on one team? In Birmingham, there's a few big teams in that area, so
I mean, for me, when I was that young when I went to West Brom, it didn't really matter. I wasn't too familiar with the whole academy setup, how it worked. I had only been playing Sunday league football for a year. The funny thing was, um, at that time when I started, I was 7, nearly 8, but
mm,
didn't actually have any teams for my age group in the Sunday league team. So
really,
the youngest team was like under 10s. I was like 7, so these guys were all like 3 years older than me. But because the guy who ran the club was a friend, a family friend, he just said, yeah, just bring him along and he can play. So I just played with the under 10s and I was with that team for the whole year. And then the next year they made the team for my age group. And then I then dropped down to play for my age group. And it was in the preseason friendlies, there was West Brom scouts there. And they said, yeah, we want to have a look at him with our boys. So I went obviously on trial at West Brom, and within a few sessions I ended up signing for West Brom. But like I said, I wasn't too familiar with the whole academy setup. I just was enjoying playing football at the moment. At that point, I was falling in love with the game. It was posters all over my bedroom, Match magazines. I don't know if you remember Match magazines
yeah,
and
of course, yeah.
FIFA, everything. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was just about enjoying playing football and yeah, go and play for West Brom. Why not?
I know you're a big Henri fan.
Yeah, definitely. Henry was my idol. I was definitely an Arsenal fan as a kid.
Yeah.
But I was an Henry fan as a kid, so I was an Arsenal fan. And when he left, it kind of filtered out a little bit. But yeah,
Uh,
definitely
yeah,
Henry.
times got hard. You know what I mean?
It got depressing being an Arsenal fan, man. You know, have me emotional, man.
So let's fast forward to when you made your debut for England.
Yeah,
So all of that, basically what you just mentioned, leading up to that moment. So that's kind of like for academy player, that's like the pinnacle, you know, or the start of it anyway.
yeah,
And then after that would come like your debut. So
yeah.
playing for England, I'm guessing your whole family must have been watching on TV and things like that. How did that feel, man?
Yeah, it was a huge moment. I think now being a little bit older,
Mm,
one of the things you realize is when you when you're going through when you're coming up as a young player, you have these moments, but you realize you take everything so seriously.
mm.
Every game is like the be all end all. I mean, you could be like you're 10, but if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
score this game, you go home and I'm angry until I go back to school on a Monday, and if I don't have a good session on the Monday, I'm still angry from the game. Do you know what I mean? Like it all
Mm,
means so much to you. And then I always remember one of the boys that I was really close with at West Brom, Callum Jones, who
yeah,
was an exceptional player at those ages as well. We used to watch obviously the Victory Shield every
yeah.
year, and we would have these conversations where it's like when we get to 14, 15, 16, we have to be there.
Mm,
That has to be us. And we both did. We both ended up playing for England. I played in the Victory Shield. He played I think later in that year. So we both kind of reached our goal. But yeah, it's very serious for young players. It's a very like you said, it's the pinnacle, definitely.
So from then, I can't remember. You have to jog my memory. Were you still at West Brom then, or was it a transition?
No, when I actually got to that age where it's like in the under 16s and stuff, I was at Liverpool at that time. Yeah,
Yeah. So that I remember at that time that was big news, man, for every player like around our age. And I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, that was like um one of the last transfers for that age to go through tribunal. Was that true?
yeah, it did go through tribunal. I think it did. There was a whole situation about it, but obviously that only happens after the move has already taken place. So obviously when you're that age, I was only 14. I wasn't paying too much attention to that. Like all I knew is I was at Liverpool now. I'm playing and training there. I'm scoring goals there, and that's all for the people higher up in the club at West Brom and obviously at Liverpool to sort out. Obviously, as a kid, you don't care about all that.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously you moved to Liverpool, dream come true. But like, what what was your feeling still at West Brom? Because obviously it's close to home. You got a lot of friends there, and you have a lot of people who kind of helped you get to like your stage. So, like, was it not? I wouldn't say bittersweet. It's sweet that you signed for Liverpool. Was it like a situation where it was like you're young and all of this noise is happening behind you? You just want to play football.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of that. I mean, obviously, for me, West Brom was obviously extremely close to my heart. I signed there when I was 8, left when I was 14. It is my hometown club. I used to walk to training sometimes from my mum's house. It was that close. Um, and then where we trained was obviously across the road from the stadium. And then I ended up going to a school that was across the road from the stadium as well. So everything in my life was West Brom. It came to the point where I ended up leaving, going to Liverpool, which was obviously a dream come true. But yeah, West Brom was very close to my heart. Still is, obviously something that I hold close to my heart, definitely.